for a nation that prides itself on being a melting pot of cultures, we've seen
it's the right thing to do.
There is still plenty of work to do.
We don't need to talk about it.
In the past year, issues of race in America have been magnified.
And so if we can do something as a society.
This week we look at what's being done to battle the challenges of inequality, including how a vaccine rollout can be fair to everyone, no matter who they are or where they live. This is The Race. Welcome to The Race. I'm Chris Stewart. Now that we have a coronavirus vaccine and it is being rolled out, we're seeing some communities dealing with issues of having access to it. But other communities are dealing with issues of trust. Here in Providence, Rhode Island, a doctor is working to build faith in this medicine by going to places where faith is rarely in short supply. In its storied history,
Congress Baptist Church was founded as the original African meeting house for Rhode Island.
Reverend Justin Lester understands how important the chapter being written right now for his church.
Because I want to be able to tell my church that in 5 years they can still trust me because I didn't mess up this moment by giving them the wrong information for my own benefit.
Come on, everybody. This is my winning season. I want you to put that in the comments as well.
In this pandemic, he's preached online, helping his mostly black congregation navigate both scripture and uncertainty.
It was important for me personally months ago to watch my language when it came to COVID, when it came to protests, when it came to everything, so that when it comes down to like, hey, let's go take this, the people that I lead can trust what comes out of my mouth.
That includes putting faith in the coronavirus vaccine.
And we can trust the people that God has ordained to be in the medical profession.
Like Dr. Katrina Bird, a member of this church, the infectious disease specialist, has been preaching facts with her congregation.
What is the vaccine?
She knows more about the vaccine than most ever will.
Some people had the following side effects.
She's received it herself, but understands the distrust carried by so many in the black community.
I was initially hesitant, but after doing my own research, I said, okay, I'm going to get it.
So even you were hesitant?
Yes.
Why was that? Yeah.
I think it speaks to the long-standing trauma that African Americans have had when it comes to experimentation in the black community.
Deliberately deceived by the United States government.
Like the Tuskegee syphilis study, when hundreds of black men were left untreated for decades while being told they were receiving free health care.
There is real trauma that really hasn't been adequately dealt with. And so even though I'm a physician, I carry that weight of my people.
Dr. Bird is now working to speak with more black churches about the vaccine, as more than a quarter of black adults say they're hesitant about getting it, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation.
There are people who say, you know what, I don't trust those people, in government, or I don't trust those doctors. However, I'm going to trust my pastor. I'm going to trust the people who are in my church.
I really pray that as pastors, as black pastors, especially right now with everything going on in our world, that we lead people to green pastures and to still waters. And we trust that when we lead them there, if they want to eat, if they want to take the vaccine, we've given them all the information.
Justin says he hasn't heard too much vaccine hesitancy in his church. As for himself, while the Bible preaches patience, there are some things that are difficult to wait for, even for a man of faith.
For me, there's not much hesitancy, and I want to go watch college basketball in person again, so there's really not a lot of hesitancy for me.
49 million Americans deal with issues of student debt. And while it is a problem that so many people are facing, it is often a longer, steeper battle for people of color. One new study found black students have to take out federal loans to afford a four-year college more often than white students. And the loans black students take out are for significantly more money than white students. Now One School has decided to do something to close that gap. It is offering black and Native American students free tuition. Alexa Liacko shows us how it's making a difference.
All right, good morning. Nah, come on now.
At 10 a.m.
Can we try that again? And this time I want you guys to give me a river hoot.
It's time for class at Wayfinding Academy.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
We're an alternative private community college.
The 2-year program at this Portland school ends with an associate degree, but as the name of this small college will tell you, the lessons in this classroom meet more than common education standards.
And so we are building up a toolkit of resources.
We kind of lost that one.
Thank you.
It's more tools for life than it is just academics.
Kiana Cahey is about to graduate and find a job in creative arts, a dream that almost didn't happen.
It was hard because I wanted to do the college thing, but I didn't have the money for it.
But then she heard about the unique scholarship at Wayfinding Academy.
I mean, schooling for free. There we go.
All Black and Indigenous students living in Oregon can get their degree for free.
When I got the text that I got the scholarship, I literally cried because it was one thing that was really getting on my mind. Like, I've always financially struggled in my life.
The scholarship covers all tuition, letting Kiana focus on her studies and future career.
It made me feel like I was wanted, like I was supposed to be here.
This sense of belonging is something she hadn't felt in a while.
It's a really, really big impact on students, especially students of color. You live in a school system that's very oppressive of your kind, and then you come to a school that's like, your kind is welcome and we want you here.
The college's founder, Michelle Jones, says this investment in students of color is a way to level the playing field.
Higher education is broken, and that the way we do it in this country is not equitable and has a lot of flaws. And we have to start somewhere with correcting those flaws.
Where you can come as you are.
Erica Compare puts the school's philosophy of equality into action through her classes.
Because if one person knows what we learned, then we all know what we've learned, but we have to actually share the information.
She came to work at Wayfinding for the small classes and personalized learning, but to also support students in the free tuition program.
What I heard when I saw these actions was reparations. It's the right thing to do. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to figure out whether or not it's a good or right thing. Yes, it is. Let's do it. Period.
The staff here hope other colleges and universities will follow their lead and use this program as a model to give students of color across the country the same opportunity.
We're a very small college, and we have a very small operating budget, and we are doing it anyway.
It's changing lives. That shows that we care for Black people in our community and we want them to have an education which was something that Black people didn't get for such a long time.
It is what we seek when we're trying to get through something in our lives.
For students like Kiana, this encouragement is helping her overcome personal hurdles along with the academic challenges.
I do have bipolar disorder. Yeah, I've had some struggles, some mountains that I've had to climb over with this illness, but I've climbed over them and I'm still climbing. So, you know, I take it one foot at a time. I personally love the action of creating art.
And one class at a time, she's learning just how unlimited her potential can be.
When I wake up to go to class every day, I wake up knowing that I'm gonna learn something. It gives me a purpose.
For The Race, I'm Alexa Liacko.
One native tribe in Alaska worries it could lose the land it lives on and survives on because of outdated laws.
It does not protect our way of life as Native people.
The reasons this tribe believes it's an example of systemic racism when The Race continues.